Don't cheat on exams, kids. When students struggle with exams, a lot of times they can lean over to their friends and whisper the answer. That is the most classical way of cheating to pass exams. But these methods, this is some of the perfect score level of planning. It may not be Chris Evans and Scarlet Johanssen trying to pass the SAT, but this is just as elaborate. Here are 10 things students did to pass exams. 10. Writing notes on their nails. This student took the writing notes on their nails cheating trick to another level. Usually, creative cheaters use a pen with a really fine tip to write answers on their nails, especially on their thumb. Their reasoning, if they got accused of having the answers written on their hands, they can honestly answer they're not. And if the teachers grow more suspicious, they would rub the marks off. Did you know that there's an entire world of potential just hidden on the underside of your fingernail? This is like writing the answers on your skin, but next level with a lot less smudging. And if the student didn't mind prepping a little earlier, and by that we mean growing out their nails a little, then this trick is scarily effortless. One Twitter user was the one to reveal this insane method where he jotted down several formulas on small pieces of paper, pasted them, and not just on his fingernails, but behind them. To hide the evidence, he covered the top with some bright and glittery lacquer. The tweet that revealed this trick received over 100,000 retweets, so there may be hundreds of thousands trying their hand at this trick. 9. Hacking a calculator. This is hands down one of the most elaborate ways a student used to pass tests. Honestly, this much effort would have been better spent actually studying. Banking on his school's policy to limit gadgets that can be brought into an exam, a YouTuber by the name Neutrino realized that if there was one device that could be taken with him, it would be his calculator. So Tony Stark style, he upgraded his average Casio calculator and outfitted it with a secret screen, a message function, and even Wi-Fi. Neutrino realized that what was powering his scientific calculator was a small solar panel, one that was the size of a tiny OLED display. He then added a Wi-Fi module and a rechargeable battery. Keep in mind that this is all without changing the physical appearance of the calculator. The upgraded calculator allowed him to bring up pre-uploaded data from the mobile development platform Firebase. This meant he had free reins on fetching anything from formulas for his physics exam, solutions for math equations, quotes for English essays, and basically whatever he could. The chat feature allowed him to have pre-programmed questions and answers. And here's the even more elaborate part. He could place a small magnet in a pen cap or under a pencil eraser, which could trigger a switch that turned the OLED display on. This way he could navigate menus, select items, and scroll through. Was all this effort better spent studying for the exam? Probably yes. 8. The water bottle trick. Let's take things back to the classics. A trick as old as time. The water bottle trick. This method is used all the way from the United States to Saudi Arabia. Students boast about printing a small cheat sheet of answers using a tiny font size. They then take a water bottle, cut out a part of the label, and replace it with the cheat paper. Nestle never looked more genuine. And since most schools don't make you put away your water bottle, students were able to have access to formulas, definitions, and dates they couldn't memorize. Of course, they had to deal with the thirst of never drinking from the bottle. 7. Answers on the tongues of skate shoes. You've heard about sneaking cheat sheets in your shoes or socks, which is a cheating method so popular that India's eastern state of Bihar, notoriously known for its cheating incidents, made students stop wearing shoes and socks to stop them from cheating during exams. Well, this student school clearly let them keep their shoes and socks on because this is some next level stuff. They dug out those 2000s floppy tongue skate shoes and used duct tape to secure the answers to the tongue. Of course, this is one of the least effective cheating methods. How often can you get away with looking down at your feet or tying your shoes during your exam with a teacher getting suspicious? 6. Modifying their smartwatch. When the Apple Watch initially came out in 2014, teachers couldn't keep you with the new inventive ways students were using them, especially after that period of time when millions of students got them as presents for the holidays. They would see them swiping on their watches, looking straight down at the writing, clearly taking too much time to check the time. This student didn't go the traditional way and pull up documents on their smartwatch. They engineered an entirely new and elaborate watch. Feast your eyes on what is probably one of the few functional scroll watches, which contains scrolls of handwritten notes. This is another case of time better spent studying than, almost inventing a brand new device. 5. Using a fake arm. Imagine the teacher's expression when he noticed a 3-armed student cheating on an exam. As hilariously amusing as this method is, how effective is it? Is it worth the embarrassment if you get caught? This student confidently walked into the classroom because he knew he had an ace up his sleeve. There had been some debate as to what exactly he had up his sleeve, whether it was rolled up newspaper, an empty bottle of soda, or a Pringles can, but it was probably a rolled up t-shirt. His real arm was used to pull up his phone under the desk to comfortably check for answers. 4. Writing notes on their bodies. Staring too long under your desk will eventually look suspicious to your instructor, but these girls counted on the fact that they could embarrass the instructor enough that they wouldn't dare follow their gaze. If anyone did peek under their desks, they could have found taped crib sheets to their thighs, full of enough information to make them all earn A's. 3. Using a Band-Aid. Cheating is for sure not worth hurting yourself, but this student didn't mind faking it. A Band-Aid doesn't invoke that big of a reaction from instructors, except maybe some sympathy. The last thing they expected is that there is a lot of potential in that blank surface where formulas and equations can be hidden. No one is likely to investigate if the student adjusted their Band-Aid a few times during the exam, even if they took it on and off. 2. Using Morse code. This is a James Bond level style of espionage, a cheating method that involves knowing or learning Morse code. Apparently, the students who used this method didn't really need to cheat because they already had GPAs of 3.9, but they saw it as a challenge. This trick involves a pen, and it's not just a clear pen with smudged ink with the answers written down. These students, one of them an electrical engineer, took a normal pen and hollowed it out. He then cut down the stem that holds the ink, freeing up more space inside. This next part gets more bizarre and intricate. They added a vibrator connected to a tiny battery about the size of a pinky nail, which was connected to a radio signal. That meant if you held the vibrator, it would emit a steady vibration sound. This isn't the complicated part yet. They then used Morse code, which they already knew to communicate during exams. The first prototype had a wire hanging out of it, but within a week, the 2.0 version was a subtle and natural-looking one. Using the Morse code pen, their grades improved on every test. They would correct each other's problems, and it worked without fault for 2 whole years, until a teacher heard the vibration and thought he had heard a phone vibrating, and the elaborate scheme fell apart. 1. Changing their grades. One of the wildest, boldest things students did to pass exams actually occurred after the exam took place. On a story shared on Vice, a student claimed that he couldn't log onto his computer during his freshman year of high school. His teacher came over and used the administrator login and password. The student kept the login and password, thinking he could use it somewhere else. He found out that it worked across all computers on the school network. He recruited a hacker friend to place a keylogger on the teacher's computer, which sent an email every half hour of what she had typed. This way, they got a hold of the teacher's username and passwords as well, and her credentials, and by extension, the gradebook. This launched an entire operation of helping out friends who were struggling with their GPA. They tried to be smart about it, only boosting each grade by 5 points at the most to stay under the radar. One day, the mastermind behind the operation tried to remotely connect to the computer, and it said someone else was logged in. It turns out that the person was the IT admin, and the admin promptly logged everyone out of that computer. And these are all the things students did to pass exams we have for you today. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and before you go, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to Weeklypedia and click that notification bell to be alerted whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.